City of York Human Relations Commission meeting on June 17th. Can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. 6:01, June 17th, 2024. Commissioner, Interim Chair Mina Edmondson,
Here.
John Eister, Rabia Khan,
Here.
Madeline Torres,
Here.
Kevin Watkins, Jason Phillips,
Here.
Jason Query,
Here.
Karen Crosby.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Are there any public comments tonight? I don't see anyone, so we can move forward. Would you like to go over the minutes for last meeting? Everybody, have you had a chance to review them or take a moment now to do so? Are there any? Are there any questions or corrections? Can we have a motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of accepting the motion, the minutes? Okay. We'll move forward with administrative updates. As the temporary chair of the Human Relations Commission, I want to thank everyone who is serving on the City of York Human Relations Commission. I believe this is a very important role that we have in the community, that we all recognize that discrimination of any type in our city is not welcome, and that the staff and commissioners' role is to help inform people that there is a way to move forward if you feel you've been discriminated against, and that there are very strong codes and enforcement possibilities with the City of York Human Relations Commission for our constituents, our citizens to follow. I think it's important for each of us to, in our daily lives, to be informing individuals about the commission and the work that is done here. And I want to thank our staff for the amazing work that they've been doing over the last several months, and I want to thank them for that. Executive Director, you have a report?
Yeah. As you can see, we're tweaking the agenda. Hi, John. We are attempting to streamline so we can get to any business at hand. We can get to sort of narrow down what we're doing without bogging you with too much, but providing you with enough information. And always there's room for questions, Q&A, whatever we need to do there. So, but we're still working on that as we go forward. This has been this is a busy outreach month, especially this week between Pride and Juneteenth. I think that Juneteenth got the best day of the month this past weekend. Saturday was fabulous, and there was a great turnout. Even though we are going on hiatus for the summer, you will be getting some emails from me because I want to keep you up to date on what's happening with the next big thing. So we have been working, and by we, there is a small committee, I think I've mentioned it before, of HRC. Jada is on it. She started on it when she was HRC, now part of Community and Economic Development. Lisa Kennedy from, she's a peer support specialist with Human Services. Health Bureau, a couple of folks from Health Bureau. We have been meeting since last September, crafting a resolution to declare racism a public health crisis in York. And we are right on the cusp of being able to introduce that. We are waiting for the mayor to, well, he just put forward a couple of his edits. Jade is going to do the final touch because she has been masterful at creating this, and then we'll get it out to you. This is the plan after talking with Edwina Washington. The plan is that hopefully on July 16th, Edwina will present this to council. It will be introduced at council. This committee, we were able to meet with council last fall to get a sense of how they felt about us going forward with this resolution. And council at the time were very excited about it. So I know we have 2 other council members, but 3 out of the 5 are still there. So we are confident that it will pass without an issue. The point is that we are going to present that on the 16th. Around that time, we will also be sending out a letter to numerous stakeholders within the city. So anybody you can think about that's involved in nonprofit who are stakeholders in terms of recognizing race as a public health crisis in York will get a copy of the resolution and an invitation to come in September when the vote comes for a press conference and also to speak during public comments. So Mina, at that time, I'm hoping that there'll be plenty of public comment. In addition, we are also crafting a letter of invitation to some of the higher ends, such as UPMC and Wellspan, and inviting them to donate to a common fund that would allow the city to enter into doing some serious internal work with regard to overhauling policy and procedure. We haven't done anything like that in York since long before I got here, but that would basically take a look at all of our policies, our procedures, our departments, and do a racial audit. So that's a really good question. So there's kind of a synchronous plan. So in addition to the city demonstrating and modeling that it is indeed trying to dismantle racism within our own structure, there will also be things going on, hopefully, in terms of programs, education, training on the outside. So, for example, if we are able to get the vote on this in September, first week of September, by October, we want to introduce, and we'll go into more detail with this because this has to do with the HRC, all of us, an amendment to 185 that looks at source of income as a protected class. Now, let me explain what that means, and if I've already explained it, please feel free to tell me to be quiet. I might even listen. Source of income means that there is a legitimate source or a legal source of income that everybody brings to the table to rent an apartment. And you could probably speak on this, Jason, even better than I can. So if, Rabia, you and I go to rent an apartment, and right now in the state of Pennsylvania, it is estimated that a person or family need $40,000 take home in order to rent a 1-bedroom and be able to afford it, okay? So we go to rent an apartment, $40,000, not together, separately. Your income is based on salary or wages. Mine is based maybe 75% on salary and wages, but I have another 25% that comes from a subsidy, either I have SSI, TAMF, some sort of assistance that equals $40,000, okay? Currently in the state of Pennsylvania, and in most states for that matter, 35 of the states, it is legal for a potential landlord to look at that and say, I am not renting you an apartment because we don't recognize subsidized income, okay? That's not just Section 8, that's any subsidy. So there are only 15 states in the country. I said this, I think I said this the last time, 15 states in the country where it is illegal to not recognize all sources of legal income, and 50 jurisdictions throughout the country. In the state of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia and State College are the only two jurisdictions that have made it illegal. What this would do is it would put us on even ground when we go to rent an apartment. My income totaling 40, and your income totaling 40 would have to be received as the same. Now, we all know the landlord can come up with another way to say, I'm not going to rent to you and not call it what it is. But what this says is that they cannot deny you equity based on how you get your legal income. The plan is, because there's something like this right now on the floor, I don't know that it's made it to the Senate, it'll probably die in committee, because PHRC and other legislators are trying to get this statewide, but as you can imagine, it's a really hard thing to get statewide. Chipping away at local jurisdictions starts to put pressure on other local jurisdictions. So the plan here is basically to tick off Lancaster so that they turn around and say, we need to do that too, because that's what happens. And then you start to get a domino effect of different jurisdictions stepping up. So that is the plan. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because that is the city taking the steps, right, to eliminate or to at least create equity in folks who are discriminated against, and that is disproportionately against people of color. So that becomes an external sort of representation of trying to do this work. So that's what I mean when I say it's going to happen both internally and externally. Make sense? Okay. And we're hoping, our attorney right now, Brett Flower, is crafting the amendment so that that too will go to council. And I've already talked with Aquina about that also. And so we have, I don't know if we have leverage, but she is in favor also of pushing forward this amendment. So I just thought I would put all that out. You won't get too much from me on the amendment over the summer, but you'll definitely get the process in terms of what's happening with the resolution. It would be wonderful if we could all show up en masse, both when it's introduced and obviously for the vote. Questions?
The time of the introduction is 6 p.m., correct?
Correct.
On July 16th.
Correct. And that's a good question because when we go to September 3rd, which is when we're hoping to do the vote, we probably will do a press conference either at 5 or 5:30 prior to, where the mayor will be there, Aquina will be part of that. Anybody, if you are interested in speaking at that point, let me know. Because we want, if you've ever attended any of the press conferences in the city, the last one was the Ghost Guns that they just did. And they are pretty huge. So if you are interested in speaking, please let me know. And you don't have to let me know tonight. Yeah, it's interesting because the mayor asked, why are we waiting a whole session? He would like to see it in August, but I think we'll get more people in September. Folks are back from vacation. It's the beginning of the school year. It's kind of a starting point. And we still don't have the final draft. So rather than try to get to a place where we're rushing, we want to make sure we do this with good intention. Anybody else?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Where can we find this, like in writing, that the landlords can discriminate if it's subsidized income?
I will send you, please, Karen, if you don't hear from me, please send me an email. I have, it's that one I gave you. I have a number of documents that, when you look up source of income, it lays it out state by state by state. I could have sworn I sent it to you after I sent it after the last time, didn't I? I thought I did. It came from me. I think I sent you two things, and one of the things I sent you had an explanation that if you, there's a page, Karen, that gives you a brief summary, but then there's a link on the page that takes you to 60 some odd pages going through every single state. in terms of what they do. I have a shortened version of that, but that lays it all out. And what it does is it takes a look at the fact that from a federal perspective, certainly HUD discourages discrimination, but there's no federal guidelines for this one. There's nothing that says, landlords, you can't do this. Okay, good. You're welcome. The only other thing, two things that I have, we met after the mayor had met with, and you remember their last names and I don't remember their last names, Claire and Shelley.
Claire
Claire
Perkis and
Perkis.
Shelley Altador.
Altador. They have founded the Haitian American Community Outreach Group. They are operating out of the Grotto, so more of a digital manifestation, but they're working with the Haitian community, and as is Melissa from CPC. We met with them after they met with the mayor to see how it is the city and HRC and can help with the number of Haitian folks who are coming in. Now, I want to back up a little bit. Last week, community development and community and economic development, you probably know this, Karen, did this huge meeting all week with stakeholders who are interested in the block grants. And they went over in great detail how the money from the block grants will be disseminated to a variety of, how it will be allocated to participating stakeholders in the community. The number one topic, of course, was accessible and affordable housing, of which there is very little in York. York County too. And on the tail of that also came the fact that the Haitian community has grown such that they are really kind of crammed 4-6 families to a one-family unit throughout the city. And that creates a conundrum when it comes to codes violations, et cetera. So the conversation we had with Claire and Shelley, this is a mother and daughter, was how can we assist? And what we came up with was being able to provide, or at least co-sponsor with them, a resource fair for those Haitians who are currently in the city. And we're meeting with them again this Thursday. They picked a date for September 28th at Penn Park. I'm saying it's a resource fair because that's what it is, but they're going to come up with a snappier name, they said. The idea is to get as many, again, stakeholders in the city to be available and also provide translators who will be there to assist. One of the conversations that I had 2 weeks ago, Commissioner Muldrow had asked me to attend a lunch with Melissa over at CPC to sort of assess or learn about what the police presence is for Haitians, because where they're coming from, they are very hostile towards the folks who are now here in York, and how do we come up with a way to create a more amicable relationship, recognizing that the police are not always going to be coming after them. Melissa was talking about how the police in Haiti will kidnap different residents just because they're part of gangs also. So it's very complicated. So having police there that in a way that is not seen as confrontative, but rather supportive. Having Health Bureau there, UPMC, WellSpan, CPC, AHA, all of the initials we can think of in attendance to lend some support, and at the very least welcome them to York. That is going to be September 28th at Penn Park. And that's all I have. You guys good? You good? You good? Okay. I hogged the floor for them. You know what, can I do one more thing? I know I'm taking all the space, is that okay, you guys? We never did get to tell you how wonderful, our diversity event was in terms of success and the feedback that we've gotten. Not to mention the food, which I didn't necessarily say that in the right order because the food really took precedent. But what was really quite amazing is that the morning of the event, our speaker canceled. She had dislocated her shoulder and wasn't able to come. And Carla Christopher just jumped right in and said, well, I'm coming to do the poetry part of it anyway. Absolutely, I will be here for that. And so that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. So we just want to, just a shout out at how everybody came together and still created an amazing event. So thank you all.
The students that were honored, what was their reaction and how were they accepted?
So
They still talk about it.
they talk about it all the time. Ryan, so Amanda's mom works here. So Amanda she pretty much had a feel for being here, right? Ryan comes in, had never been to the city or I guess to a big event, and he goes, why am I here? Because we didn't tell them why they were coming. He goes, why am I here? What am I doing with all these rich people? And then Will was just, he says to me at one point, hey, did you invite my parents? I went, yeah. Oh, I'm not mad, I just saw them. But they didn't realize that they were being honored. And so I think they were floored because especially Ryan and Amanda, being at Susquehannock, were so used to being like just emotionally beaten up all the time that to be able to have such a large group of people recognize what they were trying to accomplish during their 4 years at school was extraordinary. And Will was just over the moon, so.
Amanda and Ryan will be at the Young Voices.
They will be as
As
Young
speakers,
Voices,
yeah,
as speakers.
panelists.
Yeah, Amanda and Ryan, that's right. So that's pretty cool.
I wanted to share that I really did appreciate the conversation with Jada and Carla Christopher and the name, Mr.
Loki,
Loki.
Mulholland, yes, thank you.
Mulholland, yeah,
Focus on Carla.
that they had, that was really informing, and I appreciated that a lot.
And Loki is another award-winning documentarian, and he's a friend of Amy's. And as soon as Amy found out that our person had canceled, she called him, and so he drove up from Virginia that day to be here with us. And so he was, yeah, that was pretty cool. I got focused on Carla, sorry.
Okay, do we have any old business that we need to discuss?
We didn't do the stuff.
Excuse me?
We didn't do the stuff after we.
I asked if the staff had anything and they said no. I don't have anything listed under old business. Is there any new business?
I'm not sure where this would fall, old business or new business, but I want to remind you that this would be the last meeting before summer recess. So we don't have a meeting in July or August. We come back on September the 16th.
And maybe you covered this, are we again looking for another new board member
We have 2 openings.
too? And those openings need to be within the city or
They're both city
both
positions.
city positions? Okay.
One I have confirmation that we've been trying to fill, and the other we haven't received direct confirmation from.
Meaning you have someone interested?
No, I mean that the opening has not been a direct confirmation of that, but. It would, a recent resignation, or it was reported on Facebook, but it hasn't been officially reported to the mayor or the commission.
So one firm opening, one we think is going to open. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. And if you have any suggestions, bring them to us. We'll speak with the mayor. I know he is actively seeking individuals as well. Any other new business that we need to discuss? I know that we said that there will be more training for the commission coming up as we go into September. I will be connecting with the current commissioners, confirming their intention to stay on, so that as we come to September, we'll know exactly how many places we need to fill, how many seats, and be working toward doing that. So,
That sounds great. I have a few ideas. I figured I would, when we met in September, we can start to map out different topics that I think will be useful for all of us to have.
okay.
And also
Thank
give
you.
you a chance to have any input as to topics you may want to see covered. And I'm also hoping that by then I have more information about where we are with HUD.
Hopefully a lot more money coming in, so.
Once we get that, we have to get the amendment through. That's part of it. Yep.
Okay. Any other business? I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Please be careful this week in the heat.